There you go.
How the Grinch stole Christmas?
By who?
By Dr. Seuss.
Good job. Thank you.
Can you read this?
Nope, next page. Who? Yes.
Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch.
Bethany, you need to keep your legs down.
Who
Uh-huh.
lived just north
Uh-huh.
from Whoville.
You gotta read it louder so everyone can hear you. Of Whoville.
Of Whoville did not
Good job.
the Grinch hated Christmas. The
Whole.
whistle
No, whole.
home
Huh?
Christmas thing
Season.
season. No.
Now?
Now, please don't ask why do
No?
no when
Quite?
quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be
Remember to read it loud. Perhaps.
perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was too small.
Good job. Next page.
I think that's it.
Probably, huh?
But
Whatever.
whatever the reason his heart or his shoes, he stood
Huh? There.
on Christmas Eve. He hating the
Whose?
sinking down from his cave with a sour Grinchy brown.
At the
At
Tid. Lighted.
Why did he
At the warm
like that?
lighted windows
Those
below.
below in their town
Uh-huh.
for he
New.
knew very
Every.
who down in who will beneath
Sound it out.
was
Uh-huh.
about
No. No, about. Sound it out. Ba. E.
Busy
Busy.
town
What? Ow.
how
Now. Okay, let's keep it going. Yeah, we read that word earlier. Hang.
hanging
Uh-huh.
brothers
Hanging.
Daddy
Yeah, Ing brothers. Hanging.
hanging a
Mistletoe.
toe.
This is a nice one. It's a hard one. Can you read it?
Could you help me, Daddy?
I want to see if you can do it.
Wearing
Wreath. Good job. I'm going to read this one. And they're hanging their stockings. He snarled with a snare. Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers, nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew.
On the who.
On the who. You should know that word. Girl. Oh. Uh-huh.
And boys knew
What?
would wake
Uh-huh. Brr.
bright
Uh-huh.
and early.
Good job.
They
They'd.
rush for their toys and then
Yep.
who the noise.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the noise. That's one thing that he
What? Sound it out.
did not
Hey.
hated
There you go.
the noise.
Good job.
He hates the noise.
Yep, he did.
Then
Uh-huh.
the who's
Huh? Young
young
and old
and would sit down to feast
Yep.
and they'd feast and they feast and they feast. They would feast on
Who? Pudding.
pudding and
Rare.
who
Uh-huh. Roast.
beef,
Which
was
2 words.
something
Something. Keep going.
that the Grinch couldn't stand in the he licked just of
least
of all every who down in who bill
You know that word?
the owl
Tall.
tall and the small would stand close to
Would stand close to. What do you think the word might be? Get. Her. To. Get. Her.
two.
To.
Let's make it let me see.
Two.
I have an idea.
Okay.
So put a finger right there.
Mm-hmm. To.
No, like this. Put it like straight up and down.
I don't know what difference it makes. To. Get. Thir. Together.
What's one of my sight words?
Together is one of your sight words?
Mm-hmm.
Then you should know it.
To get her.
To get her, huh?
To get her.
To
To
get her.
her.
Together.
That's one of my sight words.
Good job. Okay, keep reading.
You just stepped on one of my
Hey,
sight
I
words.
think your cousins are trying to watch us read, so let's keep focused.
With Grinch.
What's that word?
No.
No, that word. No. Christmas.
No.
Christmas. Yeah, usually. But Christmas bells ringing.
Christmas bells ringing.
They
Stand
stand.
Hand in hand.
Uh-huh.
And they,
The.
the who's would sing.
Start singing.
That
They'd
could you read this?
Yeah, I'll read this page. They'd sing and they'd sing. And they'd sing. And the more the Grinch thought of who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?
Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do. The Grinch
Laughed.
In his
Throat.
and he made a pink
A quick.
Santa Claus hat and coat.
Uh-huh.
And he could
Chuckled. Clucked.
with
What?
what I could
A great Grinchy
Grinchy
trick.
trick with his coat and his hat. I look just like Saint Nick. Can you read this page?
Yep. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head.
Then he
Sound it out.
loaded
Uh-huh.
some bags and some old
T.
empty
Good. Sacks.
On a
Ramshackle. Sleigh. Mm-hmm.
And he
Hitched
up old
Uh-huh. My page are you still reading?
you
Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" at the sleigh, and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. Don't we finish this book?
I want to
Okay.
read this part.
Go ahead. Do it. You're doing a good job.
Oh,
There
was
in
windows
windows.
were dark,
Quiet.
Snow
Filled.
the
Air.
All the Who's were all
Dreaming.
some
Sweet.
dreams.
Uh-huh.
I wish I had sweet dreams, but I never have sweet dreams.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that later. Without. Dreams without.
Without
Care.
When he came to the first little
House.
in
On.
the
Air.
square.
Yep. This.
This is stop. Number
Yep.
1.
The
owned Grinch
claws.
had
Hissed. Your legs down.
and he came
Wind.
climbed
Wind.
and down
What? And he climbed.
to the roof. Empty
Bags.
in his
Down.
fist.
Good job.
I know what he's going to do. He's going to steal the Christmas tree first.
Then he slid down.
Why is there all of them in one bed?
Because it's a family bed. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who's stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go.
I'm going to read this for
T. S. Who express.
Sprex.
Uh-huh.
For Joe.
Yep.
Cool.
Something like page
So-
2. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Popguns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorns, and plums. And he stuffed them in bags, and the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimney.
This is my...
Okay.
Then he slunk to the ice box.
Uh-huh.
Ice box?
Yep.
Why is he in the ice box?
He's
Oh,
selling the
fish.
food.
There's a fish.
There's a fish in the icebox. That's silly, huh? Okay, keep reading.
What if our fish was in the ice box? It would be dead.
Be dead, yes. Keep reading. He
took
uh-huh.
the roast
Feast.
He took the who's pudding. He took the roast beef. He
Yeah.
took
He what? What's that word?
a
Cool. Clean.
out the icebox as quick, as fast,
As a
a
full flash. Why?
That Grinch then
Even
took
their
their
last
can of who hash.
Good job.
He needs who hash. I like who hash.
Yep.
Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee and
Now.
now.
Because what does the W say? What does the W say? What does the W say? Say it before I do it.
Ow!
Okay. And now.
Now. Grant.
Uh-huh. Come on.
The Grinch. I will stuff up the
what? The tree. This is a long book. What if I finished it?
Okay.
Okay, but you gotta make sure that your pajamas are covering before I remove the book. So you don't need that showing, huh? Okay, and the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove. When he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove, he turned around fast and he saw a small who. Little Cindy Lou Who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught. Not more than 2.
How many?
So she must have been 2. She couldn't have been any more than that. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied. "There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." And
Liar.
yeah, I know. And his fib fooled the child, then he patted her head.
He's a liar.
Yep. And he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Sandy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went up the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, that old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's homes, leaving crumbs much too small for their other Who's mouses. It was quite past dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings and the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it.
Boo-hoo.
Pooh-pooh to the Who's.
Boo-hoo.
He was grinchily humming.
Boo-hoo.
They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming.
Boo-hoo.
They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two, and the Who's down in Whoville will all cry. What will they cry? You said you wanted to read that part.
Boo-hoo.
There you go. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started down low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry.
Mary?
It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same.
I can hold it.
Okay, but I didn't change the page.
Yeah.
And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet, ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whistled his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for their feast, and he himself.
The Grinch could carved the roast beef. feast.